Hey everyone, welcome back to Pokémon Insurgence. I hope everybody is staying happy, healthy, and safe. On the last part, we made it into the Infernal Cult's hideout, and we actually managed to take them down from the inside out. Although, apparently Calreath has gone missing, and in the process, Persephone stole Diana's Pokemon. So on this part, we are going to continue on with the story, at least just a little bit. And then we're going to start backtracking with Heart Swap and see all the new Pokemon and items that we can actually get with that. The reason I actually want to continue onward with the story just a little bit though, is mainly because at this point I think a lot of people kind of question what they should be doing. Diana will have at this point mentioned that she's going to chase after her sister, and I think Nora tells you to head to Nara Town, but how do you head to Nara Town? Well, we want to come over here to the entrance to Torren Town, and we want to go to our options with Mew, and use Heart Swap on that statue right over there. I also want to point out that even though we don't have Waterfall, you can actually go down this waterfall, and other waterfalls. I think you can see that in here. So we can go down the waterfall, but we can't actually go up. So kind of keep in mind that it's a one-way trip. So I'm just going to skip over that trainer, and we can't get that item over there either. So that's unfortunate. So we'll now be here on Route 16. I'm going to put the encounters up on the screen really quickly. Thankfully, I don't have to actually battle any of the trainers here, unless I'm kind of dumb and I let them see me. The first notable thing here on Route 16 is actually going to be this house. So over here, this woman is interested in trading Pokemon. For you see, I am the owner of a rare Delta species. Yeah, many NPCs have told us this before. And what she wants in return for her Delta Girafarig is any fully evolved Pokemon with the strongest fire, water, or grass type techniques. So as you can see here, she'll mention its Frenzy Plant, Last Burn, or Hydro Cannon, which means the only Pokemon she wants are starters. If you head to the Dragon Ruins, you can actually find 3 different starters, each with an encounter rate of 20%. I think it's for Alligator, Sceptile, and Charizard. And then you can head to Nazca Town after you catch one and teach them those moves, which is why we have this Charizard here. Totally not because I like Charizard, because I really don't. But right here you can see we have the Blast Burn on it. I also recommend, if you want to trade for a different Delta later on though, first trying your luck on Route 11, because on Route 11 you can find a Sceptile at 20%, and you can also find a level 52 wild Pokemon, which can be used for a different trade later on. So anyways, we are going to go ahead and give her the Charizard, and she will give us her Delta Girafarig. This Pokemon was discovered by the brilliant Professor Nico. So we will give it to Lady Botril, and we will get the Delta Girafarig. So let's take a look at that. Palindrome. That's actually a really fitting name. Delta Girafarig's typing is Steel Poison. It does actually get Autotomize, and I don't think this is one of its better abilities either. I think its better ability would probably be Anger Point. Its hidden ability is Intimidate, but that's not really available right now, so that's unfortunate. It's not really that amazing, but it does get Nasty Plot and it does get Autotomize, so if you absolutely wanted to sweep with this, then that's what you would use. Also, fun fact, palindromes are words that are basically read the same from left to right as they are right to left, which Girafarig is actually one of them if you look at the name. So that's actually really fitting. So with that trade, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to... Alright, that was unfortunate, but we are going to continue to press on. I actually tried to continue earlier, and I proceeded to run into every single trainer on my way there, including this policeman who actually saw me as soon as I started surfing. Like, I was surfing... Not you. But I was surfing right down here, and he spotted me right before I jumped on the Lapras, which was so annoying. Either way, there really isn't anything on this route besides the Delta Giraffe Rig, so we're just going to head on in to Nara Town. So immediately inside of Nara Town, we'll be greeted by this person. You look small. Not just you, your people. There's just something very fragile about you. It's odd. It's very different. I'm not sure how to describe it. You don't know who I am, do you? You haven't seen much of us, nor will you, until we make our move. I'm sorry, but this is something we need to do. Everything is going just as Mistress predicted. You and the mercenary, the fake prophet, we hired, took down the Infernal Cult. You took down the Abyssal Cult by yourself. And now, the shards of the crystal are moving again. Very soon, you will see the true power of that crystal. Of our crystal. I really am sorry. It's time for Earth to return to the mirror. So that was a little bit creepy. Anyways, there's not really much here in Nara Town. However, there is this market over here. So you have things like the energy brewer here, which is kind of useless because I think you can get most of the other energy items in other places, such as the black market. But what we do have here is we have the overcompensating tough guy, and he sells Megastones. So none of these are for Delta Pokemon, but we have the Kangaskhanite, with the Swamperdite, we have the Lopunite, Gardevoirite, Gallade, Metachamite. All of those are really, really good Megastones. And I guess if you like them, the Benedite and Cameruptite are pretty okay too. We also have the X-Queen. She sells X items, but unfortunately she doesn't sell the super ones, like X Attack 2 or X Attack 3, things like that. And of course we have this lady over here. She sells miscellaneous items. I have no idea what the item urge or ability urge items are. I've never used the Wonder Launcher before, so that's just kind of me. But if you know what they're for and you want them, they're there. And finally, we have the Pokemon specific Lord. So he sells items that are unique to certain Pokemon, like the Thick Club for Marowak, or the Light Ball for Pikachu. We could have gotten most of these by now though. However, what you can't seem to get anywhere else is the Soul Dew, which he has for some reason. Also, random side note about the side quest that we're going to be taking on later. This person over here actually mentions it. She mentions that one of her friends in Hecate Town has been freaking out about spiders. I think that's really, really cool. But anyways, besides that, there's not much here in this town. There is this man here, though, who has found a really beautiful leaf last fall, and he'd like us to take a look at it. In fact, he'll even put it in our Delta Snorlax's Book of Leaves. So with that, I could actually go into my Book of Leaves. Remember, it is a keyed item, and I can change my Snorlax's look. So I believe our new option is now this leaf right here. So I'm going to go ahead and gonna bring Snorlax out of. It's actually pretty cool looking. It's kind of wintry. Not quite though. Besides that, if we talk to this lady over here, she will give us a free elemental evolution stone. So you can pick whichever. It doesn't really matter because we can buy them anyways, but freebies are kind of nice as well. And finally, if we make our way over here into the grass, which I'll actually put encounters up for on the screen. But if we make our way down here, we'll find this black belt, and he would like to trade Pokemon, but only for a level 52 Pokemon. So that's why I kind of recommended hunting for the Sceptile on Route 11, since that's also where you would find Pokemon in the level 52 range. So that's where I caught this why not right here. So I'm going to trade it for his Delta Pokemon. And he's going to send over his Growlithe. Also, I want to point out that his name is Black Belt James. And I also want to point out that he trades over a Growlithe. I think that is probably coincidence, but in the anime, James from Team Rocket actually had a Growlithe at some point, so I think that's pretty cool. This is actually a really good Pokemon though. It has a normal and dragon typing, which is decent. Unfortunately got the worst possible ability here, which is Inner Focus. You could also get Intimidate, and the hidden ability is really good. It's actually multi-scale. So this Pokemon has access to Sword Stance plus Stab Extreme Speed, and a whole slew of other things. It's actually amazing. It's also preferable to get this thing as an adamant nature, but I believe Lonely and Naughty natures will also work. I think Hasty should work as well. Actually, no, that probably won't work. But it doesn't really matter because eventually by the time that matters, you can actually breed Pokemon, or Delta Pokemon. So we're not going to worry about that too much. And as you saw right there, we can, of course, encounter Pokemon in this town. Like, I put up the encounters list earlier, but I'm not pulling your leg. Some of the encounters are actually pretty cool too. So finally, I want to show this off. Right over here, it says to the east is Minutetown and Victory Road. So we don't have all 8 gym badges, but if we come over here, we can get some pretty unique text. Hold it. Beyond here lies Minutetown, final resting point before taking on Victory Road. We'll need to verify that you have all 8 badges of the Torren League before allowing you to continue. Looks like you're not qualified to come through here just yet. I'm not sure when you'll be able to get that 8th badge, seeing as how we're not really any closer to finding an 8th gym leader. Good luck, kid. I really like that. I feel like most people don't even bother coming over here because they know that you can't really get past there. But that flavor text is really, really good. So anyways, we're just going to go ahead and try to leave town here. Ow! Why, you little Oh, it's you. I don't like disguising myself, but I was worried about running into someone. I trust your little adventure in the mountains went well. Good. Well, no time to chit-chat. I'm off to Shade Forest. Specifically, a very special place there. Absolutely do not follow me. Not to the only significant area in Shade Forest where you were held captive. Things are happening there that are too dangerous for your little child eyes to see. But if, hypothetically, you went anyways, there are some very, very exciting things about to happen. So you need to actually get that trigger, that cutscene, before you can head off to Shade Forest and take on the Darkrai cult and continue the story. Remember, you used to be able to see forum posts on the Insurgent forums and other places asking about what to do, how to continue the story at this point in the game, and that's pretty much how. So anyways, this is sort of the connecting cave if I can avoid this trainer, or maybe I just won't. So if we come through here, we'll actually end up in Minutetown, and once you jump these ledges, you can't get back up there. Unless you have rock climb, and we're not going to be getting that for a long time, unfortunately. At this point, we could continue on with the story by heading to the Shade Forest base and taking on the Darkrai cult, but I like the idea of coming to Minutetown and starting our backtracking here, especially since our first spot is actually going to be in the Minna Mines, which is right over here. I also want to mention that there is a heart swap spot that is also in the Minna Garden, but that doesn't really do anything for us right now. The only thing you can get there is a Carbos, which is nothing unique. It is important for something else a little bit later on though. So instead, we're going to backtrack here to the Minna Mines, and we're going to head into the second room right here. if you remember, you could come all the way over here to the northern part of the mines, and if we use our flute, which I always forget that I have it hotkeyed, we can use Heart Swap right here, and we can grab the Absolite. Our next spot that we're going to be backtracking to is actually going to be the Samsara Cave. Here on Route 5, we'll find the Samsara Cave. If you go to Coral Town and just go to the right, you'll be here really quickly. And immediately inside the cave, we'll find the Manatee Statue. So this is a tricky statue because I want to point out that in some locations, Heart Swap doesn't register for that statue. So we have to actually use Heart Swap right down here, and we'll get access to a hidden room with a TM for Scald, which is pretty good actually. And we're basically done here now. Also, I just realized Snorlax is kind of trapped. Our next backtracking spot is going to be the Helio Sewers. Down here in the Helio Sewers, I want to start from the entrance that's actually at the bottom of the department store. We're going to make our way up here, over to the right, and down all the way over here. And eventually a Manatee Statue should come into view. So I'm just going to Heart Swap my way over there, and we're going to follow this long, lengthy path over here. I think you might actually have to use Seed Flare right there. I've already used it on the floor, so we're pretty good. And we should eventually find this. So this is actually going to be Delta Heatmore, and it's a pretty cool Pokemon actually. This thing could potentially have Sheer Force for an ability, as a regular ability, and I think it also has Mega Launcher as a hidden ability, which is pretty cool. It actually gets moves that are boosted by that too. It is a Poison Steel type, which is actually really good offensively, but with Sheer Force and I think with base 105 special attack and Nasty Plot, you could rip through entire teams. So it's a Delta species discovered by Raydrol and Echo the Third. The mechanisms inside of its body allow it to churn acids at high velocity and fire them from its arms. It has some pretty cool coverage moves too. Obviously you wouldn't want to use Zap Cannon or Inferno, but they're there if you wanted to have fun with it. So aside from finding the Delta Heatmore, we're now going to be backtracking to Merc Forest. Or actually, I think we're going to head to Hecate Town first. So we're here in Hecate Town because to start the side quest, we actually need to go to the end of Hecate Town, and we need to see this hiker over here who's absolutely freaking out. Hey, yo kid, are you a trainer? Do you think you could help me out with something? I'm going to say yes. Listen, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the forest just up here is a huge mess. There's murk, bog, dangerous critters everywhere. That wouldn't be such a huge problem on its own, but recently I've started noticing a lot of spiders. I don't get along so well with those, and I need to travel through that forest every day to get to my job in Nazca. You think you could clear them out for me? Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. Listen, why don't you meet me in the forest? I'll wait for you there and show you where they are. So, just like that, we're going to go ahead and head into the Merc Forest, and we're actually going to meet him there. We'll find our hiker friend over here towards the entrance of the Merc Forest, and if we talk to him, hey, thank you again for agreeing to clear out all these nasty spiders and bugs and junk. I'd do it myself, but I can't stand the sight of them. He'll move aside, and he'll let us into this secluded area of the forest where we can take on the spiders. So, they're basically level 50 Ariados, so you can take them out with pretty much anything at this point in the game. You could have come here much earlier and dealt with them, however there would have been one that you wouldn't have been able to get to, and that would have prevented you from getting the reward for this. So you're just going to see me running around and knocking out the Ariados as I find them. They're not that hard to find. They're really not. So I think there's about 6 of them. I want to say there's 6 of them. So there's this one down here, and afterwards there should be 2 or 3 left over. After taking on that one though, there is a heart swap statue up over here that we want to use. So I'm going to heart swap over here, and we're going to get the Delta Metagrossite S. I'm not going to spoil what S stands for just yet, but considering we're dealing with spiders right now, you can probably guess. So this is going to be the second to last spider right here. We're going to go ahead and use return on it, knock it out. Delta Snorlax is such a good Pokemon, it's no wonder that I kind of always have it with me here. But anyways, we're going to find a heart swap statue up over here on this ledge. And once we heart swap over here, we're going to be jumping on these rocks and crossing the ledges, eventually to reach this last spider over here. And once we take him out, something special should happen. We're just going to go ahead and cross the rocks back over here. We're going to go ahead and heart swap down. And we're going to go check out what we summoned. Although, if that Megastone is any indication, you already know. So this is going to be the Delta Methane. The whole line is going to be a ground and bug type, which is pretty cool. I actually like that a lot. And again, you can Mega Evolve it, so it will become enormously strong here. And finally, we have it for ourselves here. So since this is the second stage, we're not going to see the discovered line. It's still a really good Pokemon though. It could have Poison Touch or Immunity, and obviously you would probably prefer Poison Touch for an ability here. And it is a ground bug type. It has the same stats as a regular Metagross, or Methane, and Metagross when it evolves. And again, we can Mega Evolve it into a Mega Methane, or Delta Methane, which is pretty cool. It also has a fantastic level up set. I think it gets Spikes, T-Spikes, and things like that. It also gets Sticky Web, and I'm not sure what else. I know it gets Earthquake, which is probably insanely powerful coming off of this thing's attack, which is pretty good. The bad thing is that capturing this thing is kind of annoying. Like most other pseudo-legendaries, it does have that capture rate of 3, which is shared by certain legendaries like Mewtwo. To add to the fact that it's constantly using Dig and it's poisoning your Pokemon and wearing them down, it's pretty painful. Anyways, our next stop is going to be Route 14. We're going to be starting off on the side of Route 14 that you enter by leaving from Town. However, we're going to ignore the Manatee Statue right there, and we're actually going to head into the middle. Since this Manatee Statue is quicker to take care of. If I can actually quick card swap. So in the center here, we'll have the TM for Rain Dance, which is pretty good. It's also pretty fitting considering we get it by using the Manatee Statue and Heart Swap and all that. The next statue, however, is going to be right over here. You've already seen it. I'm going to go ahead and Heart Swap over here. And from there, we're going to have to dive right down here. And we're going to have to go all the way over to the left underwater. And eventually, past the seaweed here, we should find a spot that we can surface. Once we surface up there, we're going to head over to the right. We should find a Tesseract spot. So we are going to go back to the past, and then we are going to surf all the way over here to the left again. This time we should find some land, and we'll find the Garchompite. Also find a Hyper Potion, so that's alright. Our next stop from here is going to be Mount Rose, or rather the base of it. Here on Mount Rose, we actually don't want to be on this level. Instead, we want to go up a little bit higher. So we're going to go ahead and go through this building, since we can now. And we're going to actually go up these stairs, and eventually we should find a Manatee Statue to the left of us, right over here. So we're just going to go ahead and Heart Swap over to it. And we're going to find the Shiftryite. Mega Shiftry is a bit of a weird Pokemon. It has Shadow Dance for an ability, which means its speed is doubled in the darkness. And it has decent offensive stats. I think it gets nasty plot, so you could be some sort of nasty plot darkness sweeper. That's pretty cool. Anyways, our next stop is going to be at the crater of Mount Rose. Starting from Dayron Town, we're going to enter the Rose Crater over here, and we're going to head all the way to the back of it. So we want to go down those stairs, we want to go up these stairs, and we sort of want to head towards where the old Inferno base was. Except right here, we're going to go down these stairs instead, and eventually we'll find a cave all the way at the back of it. In the back of this cave, we're going to go ahead and heart swap over, and we will find the Houndoomite. So that's pretty decent. Obviously, this is practically a custom megas in Delta Pokemon Mono Run, in a way. So I can't use that, but it's a pretty good Megastone. Mega Houndoom is pretty cool. Anyways, we have one last stop we're going to have to make. However, to make this stop, we're going to have to actually go to the Pika Taxi, and we are going to be flying. I am here at the Pika Taxi guy, and we're going to be using his Emolga Taxi here to soar. I shouldn't have said flying earlier. We are going to be soaring. So we're going to be soaring the Torren skies yet again, and we're going to be heading to a very specific location. So I want to actually be heading over towards the left, and it's fine if Repel runs out. But I want to be heading towards the left and sort of downwards. So we've actually kind of been in this area before, but I skipped over it last time. Usually when you see the water turn a little bit darker right there, it's a good sign. Alright, we went over too far. There we go. It should be right over here. So I can't land right now because I have to wait for the arrow to sort of catch up with me. But we should be able to land right here, I think. If I can find it. Some of these locations have really weird click spots for the landing. Alright, there we go. So we've landed on Slither Forest, which is slightly terrifying. I don't like snakes. However, to progress here, we actually need Heart Swap, which is why I didn't come here earlier. So with Heart Swap, we can jump over that ledge, and we can push all these strength boulders out of the way. And eventually, at the top here, we will find this thing. So I'm going to save, and we're going to encounter this. This is going to be the Delta Dino. So this is yet another pseudo-legendary line. It is ground poison, which is pretty close to the ground bug that we were dealing with earlier. Delta Dino, obviously it has the same stats as regular Dino, so it is indeed a pseudo by stats. Has a pretty good move pool as well. Delta Dino and Delta's Wireless have the ability Venomous, which basically turns all your poison attacks, or poisons, into toxics, essentially. But Delta Hydreigon has a really cool new ability called Intoxicate, I think? Intoxicate. There we go. And Intoxicate is essentially turns all normal moves into poison type, and it gives them a nice little buff. How you use this Pokemon is completely up to you because there's so many different things it could do. It could just run a full-out special set, it has the coverage for that. Or you could even go physical, it gets boiled, it has glare. There's so many different things that you could actually do with this thing. You also have the options of Hyper Voice for a special set, so you have that stab on the special side, and you could also use Return if you're going for a physical set. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with this thing. Alright, we have finally caught the Delta Dino, so we're going to check the entry here. It's a Delta species discovered by No Name Dummy. Being blind, they use their tongues to sense objects around them through different scents. They bite anything that moves. So that's pretty cool. We've caught another pseudo-Delta legendary Pokemon. I'm not sure if I said that right. We've caught another Delta pseudo... Yeah, I did. Okay. And with that, we have taken care of all the backtracking that we can currently do with Heart Swap. And I think we've actually done enough for this part as well. We've done quite a bit, and on the next part, we'll be sure to take on the Darkrai cult and whatnot. But for now, I think we're going to end things here. So thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, hope it helped, and I will most definitely catch you all on the next one. Peace.